Symptoms began after he scratched his arm on a metal table 4 days ago. Left arm shows 2 centimeter, tender, erythematous, fluctuant lesion at the site of the trauma. And then the last 3 lines again, right? IND, lesion, small, thick, fluid, liquid. So you have to know you have to know what they mean. You have to know what interleukin 2 is and 5. So as a friend, I would ask you to literally open up your first aid and say, okay, if this is a content issue, you have to learn the content. You have to know what it is. You have to know by hitting the key info and maybe doing this as a hint. If you don't know, this should trigger the answer if you didn't know it before. And you just need to know it's a interleukin 8. So I can promise you're going to get questions like this on your exam. Interleukin 1, 2, 5. It takes time. It does. Okay. Providing a differential or putting the piece together is amazing. But like the question I showed you earlier was for a reason, that they can present to you a case like hypersensitivity pneumonitis, and then they expect us to know the other stuff, right? So I can promise you, eventually when you start doing micro with me, biochem, and all the organ systems, this keeps repeating itself over and over again. So don't stress now. If you're at the beginning of your studies or at your middle of your studies, I can promise you, the more questions you do and the more time you review this, like right now, interleukin 8, right? Review it. It's on you. You're responsible for this content. Review the answers and say, okay, I know interleukin 8. Quiz yourself. What's interleukin 2? Hot T-bone steak. T is for 2. Okay, T cell. Boom. Read this. Activator of T cell differentiation and absorb it. Interleukin 5. Hot T-bone steak. E is 4. 5 is, right? E is 4. 5 is A. E is 4. 5 is A. Oh, okay. Boom. I know interleukin 5. Click it. And then by reviewing every answer choice like this, you're actually applying everything you learned, because it's applying what you've learned to a case. And I promise you, it helps you remember things like, I remember a case I did yesterday where, talking about neutrophils, interleukin 8, boom. But if you just read this dry, I don't know about you, I'll forget it tomorrow. Like if I just read this, and write it out in my index cards and write it out, I will lose my mind. So I don't want to write anything out. I want to review as much as possible. If you review every day, reviewing is a big word because it's a broad statement. Review can be writing it out again, reading it fast. Reviewing is scanning. If I spent 7 hours yesterday studying, I'm going to spend tomorrow morning reviewing for an hour. Just scan my content. And I promise you, you're going to do amazing. All right. So these are questions for you. Literally, I know I would love to do 1,000 questions, but that's why we have the QBank video library. My goal is to get to close to 3,000 questions. And after I'm done with AMBOSS, I'll be attacking UWorld and then jumping on step 2 for that, because I want you guys to have the power to pass the test, right? This is 64 questions that I hand selected for you all. Okay. They're not easy, but this is what you need to learn. If you read a question like this, for example, read a question like this,